Welcome to a Month in Movies show. This is Geek Domination's monthly movie, I guess you could call it podcast, show. Depends on how you're listening to it. This is about what we heard, what we're seeing, and what we're looking forward to in the next month in movies. I'm Anthony Tyson, and with me today are the artist extraordinaire, Casey Mason.
Hello.
And my brother from my mother, Ransom Tyson.
Hello.
Alright, so we're off to a great start today. So first up, what we're going to do is the monthly news. This is everything that happened in January, a couple of our favorite news articles from the month, and maybe something that you might have seen if you need to see it. I don't know, that sounded fucking weird. I'm going to read that one too. This is going to be a rough start. Okay.
You're making me feel better about how I'm going to do, so at least there's that.
Yeah, I tell you, you should see the outtakes that I have for my reviews. Like, it gets
post
insane.
those outtakes.
That's tempting. I might do that. So first up is monthly news. This is where we go in from the news from the last month, which was January, and bring out one or two of our favorite news pieces. All right, so first up, Casey, what you got?
Okay, so first news I have, and when I first read this, I was super excited because I read it wrong. I thought that the Transformers franchise was done, and I'm like, fucking finally! But no. What it was is Michael Bay is done with the Transformers franchise, but there are still going to be movies. So after the Last Night comes out, which is the 5th installment in this franchise, he's done. He's not directing, he's not producing, he's out. The only problem is that it's going to continue without him, and he apparently has backed up a couple writers from other movies to start writing these movies. Transformers 6, which doesn't have a name yet, he's not going to have any involvement in. And then a couple spin-off movies like Bumblebee.
So it sounds like pretty much Michael Bay, sure he's not directing, but his stink might be still there a little bit.
Yeah, I think he saw so much success with this franchise, he doesn't want it to go down the drain, which is like kind of funny to me because it's been going down the drain since at least the second movie, I think.
It's like success in his mind. You know, they make money, the studios love them, but critics everywhere hate them, and
True.
I think the audience is starting to get tired.
But, you know, there are a couple writers from, like, A Beautiful Mind, Ant-Man, Black Hawk Down, so we'll see. I don't know.
Those are all some good movies, so that's an interesting angle.
The second piece of news that I have, granted it's not from January, it is from yesterday. In 2015, a movie came out. It was called El Landlord. And excuse me while I read his name because I'm gonna forget it. Excuse me.
Andre
Solomon Bautista.
Yeah.
He starred as the landlord in this movie, El Landlord, about a landlord that kills his tenants. It didn't get great reviews, but he was happy with his performance. And in real life, he is a landlord, and he was telling one of his tenants that he thinks he's gonna go on to win at least 5 Academy Awards in his career, and the guy laughed at him.
I mean, I would too, in a way.
He stabbed him. He played the character that he played in this movie and legitimately stabbed his tenant. And yesterday, he was found guilty of attempted murder and could be sentenced to 13 years. So it's one of those fun, I don't know if I want to say fun, but it's one of those weird things where art imitates life, and I just thought that was just, I had to say it. I just thought that was
it's like
crazy.
shanking him. It's like, it's a fun old time. No, honestly, that is the weirdest piece of movie news I think I've ever heard. I didn't even know that was a thing, so that's cool that you found that. That's awesome. All right, so next up, Ransom's got 2 picks for the month of January.
Yes. So, it's been confirmed that while it doesn't have a director at the moment, Diego Luna from Rogue One is set to play Scarface. Yeah, Tony Montana.
Hell yeah.
And while this is pretty much a remake of a remake, which
that's true when you put it like
would
that.
get tiring, I love Diego Luna in Rogue One, and I would love to see him as this role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought like his role as Cassian Andor was really, really good in Star Wars. Like I was explaining to Brian, one of my good friends, he's he's into movies, and he's actually trying to direct some in LA. So he's kind of cool.
Damn.
And he was saying he didn't really like Star Wars Rogue One, but for me, Diego Luna and a lot of the other actors brought out certain things in the Star Wars universe that we hadn't seen before. So for me, Diego Luna played this kind of child soldier role where he'd been in this war for forever, and he had to go about using drastic measures in order to accomplish the task in hand. And I thought he was very endearing because his character arc went from one place and ended somewhere else. I felt like his character was complete at the end. And I think he's a brilliant performer. He's supposedly really good in some of his indie picks, which sometime if we have the capability to, I'd love to watch a couple of his indie movies.
I've only ever seen him in Rogue One.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was before Rogue One.
Yeah, he's just some talent that's like straight out of, I want to say Spain. I could be wrong. Maybe Portugal. But he's into some like really indie movies that are coming from outside of America. So this was his, I think, first big break in American movies. So.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Well, and going on that, the first time you see Cassian Andor, you definitely get that feel of like the drastic measures he has to take. So like, if you take that and put it to the extremes. For Scarface, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
That would be next level.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So that's really exciting. My second piece of news is that we've seen a little bit of a break from Leonardo DiCaprio since The Revenant, mostly because he was working on his documentary about global warming, but he is set to produce and star in a new thriller called The Black Hand.
Isn't that a mafia movie too, though?
Yes,
okay.
it is a mafia movie as well. This is a synopsis, real quick, of the film, and it's supposed to be about a NYPD officer in the early 1900s who is trying to take down this organization called the Black Hand, who are constantly like kidnapping children of immigrants and extorting them for money.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting, but it also leads me to think that he's going to revisit his role in The Departed a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Little bit.
And a little like Gangs of New York, but in a bad role.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good mix of that. Both of which, those roles he killed, by the way. So I'm pretty excited for this. I mean, he is Bay, so he cannot do wrong.
And this movie is based off of a book that was written, and I think this is an actual person in history.
Okay. Cool.
So we think it might be nonfiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's
like all biopics.
Yeah.
It's
so they're all
nonfiction, but it's kind of.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be some embellishments in the
that's
story.
What I was. Good, thank you.
But I mean, if the guy really did fight to, well, not just exist, but actually as a police officer fight what was going on, right, with these immigrant children. Maybe it's not this drastic. Maybe it's not this poetic or whatever. But it sounds like if he was a real guy that did that, that's a piece of history I've never heard of.
Yeah, honestly, that's the same with me too. And I think this movie's idea is great. I can't wait to see
I'm pretty
this.
excited.
Yeah, that's great news.
It doesn't really sound like a mafia movie though. Like I would
not a
expect
traditional
a
one,
mafia
right?
movie to sound like.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, and if anyone's interested, the book that it's based off of is called The Black Hand, and it's written by Stephen Talty.
Talty. Okay. I'm going to have to check that one out. That's interesting. All right. So my pick two, one's really quick here. Dune reboot. We've heard about this for a while. They've been looking at getting a director. And this story is straight from Bleeding Cool, which I love that site, and they have a lot of good breaking news. Denis Villeneuve has been confirmed for this role, and oh my god, I can't wait to see him direct this movie. If you're not familiar with his work, he's worked on Sicario, he worked on Prisoners, I think it was, if not 2013, it was 2014, it was a while back, and he just did Arrival. So he is becoming a very hot talent in the market right now. And I think because he's been doing all of these other pictures, he's doing Blade Runner later this year. He finally has one that maybe might have been a passion project for him to work on. And since Arrival was a really interesting sci-fi take,
I still haven't seen it.
I thought it was okay, personally myself,
why I haven't
but I
seen
love
it.
the direction. Yeah, I love the direction though, and it's really cool sci-fi. It's a great idea and concept. So I want to see his take on Dune series, which was that excellent book series by Frank Herbert. And oh my god, I can't wait to see it. Dune is like this really, really weird concept, and they actually did a movie.
Was it a miniseries or a movie?
They did do. So there was a movie back in, I want to say, the late 80s.
And I feel like they did a miniseries in like
they
the
did a
late 90s or
miniseries.
something.
Actually, no, right around the time that Battlestar Galactica was gaining traction, so it was early 2000.
Yeah.
Like
I just
maybe
remember I
1,
was young
2.
when I saw it and I didn't understand it.
Well, yeah, and Dune is such a weird concept. So I think the miniseries got it more accurate to what the books were.
Well, they
Yeah.
had more time
And-
to pursue the details
Exactly.
of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
So
how books are becoming series now rather than
Yes.
movies, which I really appreciate.
yeah, because one of the biggest complaints is movies never have that time to accurately get across all of the details and everything that the books encapsulate. You know,
But this is a
They could be
this is a
800
movie,
pages sometimes.
right? The reboot.
This is a movie,
Okay,
strictly a movie.
so we'll see how he does that then.
I'd like to believe that it will work really, really well because his style and Dune style, I think, translate very well together.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the old movie, the weirdest thing about it is it's goofy. It's really, really campy. And
Yeah.
I don't think that translates to Dune very well. The miniseries was super serious, and I like that. But the special effects were a little hokey at times.
Yeah.
So, like, you had some, like, really weird dialogue, really weird concepts, and then, like, kind of garbage sci-fi, like, special features and special
Well, it was the
things going
early
on.
2000s.
It was early 2000s,
Yeah.
and it's sci-fi
I bet when
channel,
they
so.
saw it then, they're like, "Oh my god, this is
Right.
amazing."
Sure. So I thought it was good, and I think this series deserves a good director, and I believe in Dennis.
I have a question though.
Mhm.
Is it not Villeneuve?
I think I've heard it Villeneuve. I've heard it Villeneuve for the longest time
Okay.
now, so I could be wrong. People that watch this later, correct me if I'm wrong. I know I've been corrected on names before, like Mahershala Ali. I said Mahershala or Mahershala, so I'm like, I'm still learning these names, so could be wrong. All right, so we're outside of new. Oh wait, my bad. There's still one more story to talk about.
Yeah.
So with January every year comes the list of Oscar nominations, and this one was a bit of a. I don't think I'm surprised with anything this year. So to quickly list them off, we're gonna have to wrap this up very quickly because it's long. Best Picture: Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water,
Yes.
Hidden Figures,
Yes.
La La Land,
Yes.
Lion, Manchester by the Sea,
Eh.
Moonlight.
Yes.
Actor in a leading role, we have Casey Affleck for Manchester by the Sea, Andrew Garfield for Hacksaw Ridge, which a lot of people really enjoyed, Ryan Gosling for La La Land,
He's also Bay.
right? Viggo Mortensen for Captain Fantastic, which I've heard mixed things on. Denzel Washington for Fences, which everyone says is awesome. Actress in a leading role, Isabel Hubbard, Elle, Ruth Negga, Loving, Natalie Portman, Jackie, Emma Stone, La La Land, Meryl Streep, Florence Foster Jenkins. Meryl Streep's always here every year.
Meryl Streep.
That's right. We'll talk about it later. Actor in a supporting role, Mahershala Ali, Moonlight, Jeff Bridges, Hell or High Water,
Yes.
Lucas Hedges, Manchester by the Sea, Dev Patel, Lion, and Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals. Now, actress in supporting role, Viola Davis, Fences, Naomi Harris, Moonlight, Nicole Kidman, Lion, Octavia Spencer, Hidden Figures, Michelle Williams, Manchester by the Sea, animated feature film, Kubo and the Two Strings, Moana, My Life is a Zucchini, never heard of that, The Red Turtle, and Zootopia, which I was really I was surprised by. So, cinematography, Arrival, La La Land, Lion, Moonlight, and Silence. For costume design, we have Allied, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Florence Foster Jenkins, Jackie, and La La Land. Directing, Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, La La Land, Manchester by the Sea, and Moonlight. Documentary feature, Fire at the Sea, I Am Not Your Negro, Life Animated, OJ, Made in America, and 13th. Documentary is Extremis, 4.1 miles. And I should specify this is short subject. Joe's Violin, Watane, My Homeland, haven't heard of that ever. The White Helmets. For film editing, we have Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, La La Land, Moonlight. Sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. Foreign language film, Land of Mine, A Man Called Ove, The Salesman, Tana, and Tony Erdman. We're getting into the really weird stuff now.
I know, I've not heard of so many of these.
Right? Makeup and hairstyling, which I was really excited for one. Man Called Ove, Star Trek Beyond, Suicide Squad. Music, Jackie, La La Land, Lion, Moonlight, and Passengers.
I don't even know why they even picked more than one for that category. We already know it's going to win, so.
Yeah. Music original song, Audition from La La Land, Can't Stop the Feeling from Trolls.
Kill me.
City of Stars from La La Land again.
Yes.
The Empty Chair from James Foley Story. How Far I'll Go from Moana, which I've heard nothing but good things in music in that. Production design, Arrival, Fantastic Beasts, Hail Caesar, La La Land, Passengers. Short film animated, Blind Vaisha, Borrowed Time, Pure Cider and Cigarettes, Pearl, and Piper.
Oh, Piper! Have you seen that one?
No, we'll go into that.
We'll talk about it later.
Short film, live action, Animus Inferius, La Femme, Silent Night, Sing, and Time Code. Sound editing, Arrival, Deepwater Horizon, Hacksaw Ridge, La La Land, and Sully, which I was really interested. I thought that was interesting. Sound mixing, Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, La La Land, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Visual effects, Deepwater Horizon, Doctor Strange, The Jungle Book, Kubo and the Two Strings, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Writing, adapted screenplay. Rival, Fences, Hidden Figures, Lion, and Moonlight, and writing original screenplay, not pay. Hell or High Water, La La Land, The Lobster, Manchester by the Sea, and 20th Century Women. What are our thoughts? Any big things, standouts, anything that you're not liking?
I actually didn't think that Arrival was going to be in there, because usually you're really good at picking movies that you think would be in Best Picture. And the fact that you weren't all that excited about it, I was surprised to see that it was in there.
Well, so Arrival, I'm definitely in the minority. A lot of people loved Arrival. It's just me. I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. You know, I didn't think it was as incredible as some other people say, because it kind of had the stink, in some ways for me, of Interstellar, and for the reasons why I didn't completely love Interstellar. So because I had that parallel, I think it got me off a little bit, like in a bad way, you know? That really came out weird. Got me off in a bad way.
Is that possible?
I don't know.
Another one that I'm not a huge fan of, just because of the scandal going around it, is how many noms Manchester by the Sea has.
Right.
And I'm gonna throw it out there. What was that movie that we saw? Nate Parker.
Oh, Birth of a Nation.
Yeah. I feel like had there not been a scandal around that movie, it would have been listed on here.
Right. I mean,
I don't know if that's true or not, but
this is one of those weird situations where we have something that's directed by an African American, starring an African American, nowhere to be found, and had huge buzz before the movie came out. And a movie that, again, had huge buzz as well, comes out and gets rave reviews, but both people involved in a certain way. Not directing, mind you. Not directing, but at least starring for Casey Affleck. He was
accused of
sexual assault, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so was Nate Parker, but Nate Parker's was back in the day and in college, and there was a lot of stink that was raised up on the movie because of that. Now, for me, I haven't seen Manchester by the Sea, thank you. But I have seen Birth of a Nation. I thought Birth of a Nation was okay. I didn't think it was incredible. I don't think it was terrible. I kind of got middle ground with it, because it had this crazy premise of telling the story of Nate Turner, which is a really great story in American history. Nat Turner? I'm sorry, Nat Turner. Thank you. And it's a really, really, it's a passion project of his, and I thought that was cool. But for me, it didn't translate completely as much as I would have wanted it to. And I think we talked about that in our review. But
I just don't think the same stink is being raised with Casey Affleck and his.
Agreed.
I might be wrong, but from what I've read, this sexual assault took place while filming this movie.
And in a way, that's worse.
Yeah.
In a way, I mean, both are terrible. Let's get that out of the way. Both are awful. Sexual assault is not something to be taken lightly. I think it's important that we bring these things up.
I just think it's interesting that people were so quick to boycott A Dog's Life or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called?
With the dog, yeah.
After that video was released on TMZ because a dog was being abused, which, by the way, they said today wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but no one is going out there to boycott this multi-time nommed movie with sexual assault.
With Casey Affleck, yeah.
And it's an ongoing investigation, just like that dog abuse. It's just interesting to me
What's the priority?
What's important to people and what's not. Not that I'm saying a woman's life is more important than a dog's life or a human's life is more important than an animal's life. I'm not saying that. It's just interesting how society was so quick to react to that movie. But, oh my god, this one got a bunch of noms, and we're going to just kind of to the side.
Right, and going back to the same parallel we were making between A Birth of a Nation and Manchester United, they were both affected by negative stink. It's just one negative stink got out to the masses, and one didn't. And why was one prioritized and was more vitriolic than another?
I mean, we're asking the question, but we know why, but we can continue.
Sure.
You know what I'm really excited about, though, to see on here that I didn't think was going to be on here, even though it was one of my favorite movies that I saw last year, was Hell or High Water.
Right.
Yes.
I did not think that was going to be on here, but I loved that movie.
You thought of your dad so much.
It was the perfect modern Western. They didn't have to rely on horses or on the old standard of what makes a man. They relied on modern day things that we would find in rural places, and oh my god, I just love that movie so much. And I love La La Land, don't get me wrong, but Jeff Bridges is my guy.
Hell or High Water won?
And I need Hell or High Water to win. I liked Moonlight, but not as much as I was hoping I would.
Same.
I definitely want Jeff Bridges to at least get the supporting role, because he deserved that.
He did so well.
He did.
I loved that movie. I loved, and to be honest, I'm surprised neither of the two leading characters were nominated.
Well,
Chris Pine and what's his face, Ben Foster.
Well, I think the question is too, what were their roles in the movie? Were they sharing a lead actor role? If the case, the lead actors this year, Casey Affleck, Andrew Garfield, Ryan Gosling, Viggo Mortensen, maybe. But Denzel Washington, most of those are solid. And we were just talking about the Casey Affleck thing. So maybe Casey and Viggo out. But Andrew Garfield, I heard, was incredible in Hacksaw Ridge. Ryan Gosling, obviously, in La La Land. And Denzel Washington's is incredible.
I mean, he's always been really
he's
good
always good. So it's like, what do we take out of that list to put both of them in? You could make the case for the two that we mentioned, but I think I would be shocked if both of them were in, let alone one. And which one do you prioritize out of the two?
Well, and also the thing is, with that movie, the actor that stood out the most was
Jeff Bridges.
You guys think so too?
Yeah.
But it's Jeff Bridges, come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But like, with comparison to the other movies that are on here, like, these are all actors that played characters that really stood out in the film. And I feel like in Hell or High Water, Chris Pine and
Ben Foster.
Yeah,
Ben Foster didn't really stand out as the
they stood out, but they stood out as a pair.
Yeah.
That one complemented the other. There couldn't be one without the other, and maybe that's why they weren't nominated.
Sure. Okay. Something to consider. For me, I just had two that I wanted to bring up. First off, Best Picture. Everyone wants to give La La Land crap now because it got so many Golden Globe nominations, and it got so many nominations, of course, for the Oscars. But I think that's that mentality that we all have. When something's good, that does great, that gets so many rave reviews, comes out and people want to hate on it for the sake that it's popular to
They want to
do
be
that.
cool by
They
not
want
liking
to be cool
it.
by not liking it. And honestly, La La Land was incredible.
It was
I'm
so
sorry, it's so good. So I think out of there, hit La La Land for me for Best Picture. No.
And I mean, that's the other thing is that these are nominations, you know, and nominations are not about like, you know, the elite movie.
Well, it hasn't won yet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's just recognizing the fact that this definitely stood out in the year
As one of
for
the best.
yeah.
Well, it was in movie form. It was the first original musical in movie form that I can remember in years.
Yeah.
And the
You can
fact
run
that it was a musical that was appealing to both sexes, men and women, I think is huge. I mean, it made a lot of money, and musicals are like not the popular thing. So the fact that it was so big before it was nominated, I think says quite a bit.
Right.
Mhm.
And like I said, I just think it's popular for everyone to hate on it. But I'll
It
go
was
so
good.
far as to say not only should it be on the nomination, I think it wins. So, actress in a leading role. I do want to bring this one up because I thought the people across the board for the nominations made so much sense. And I think they're strong performances, all of them, except for two that unfortunately I didn't, or three actually, I'm sorry, that I haven't seen, but I've heard are all incredible. Isabel Hubbard, I didn't see her. Ruth Negga, I'm unfortunate to say that I couldn't catch Loving, which I was very excited for.
I know,
so
I wanted to see it too.
I need to watch this one soon. And then Meryl Streep for Florence Foster Jenkins. But then again, it's Meryl Streep. When is Meryl Streep not in the nomination
Yeah.
list for an Oscar?
She's super overrated, according to the leader of the free world. So
For me, I think
it's a
she's
fluke
incredible.
that she's in.
Oh yeah, of course. It's always a fluke when Meryl's in anything. But oh wait, Meryl's amazing, and she will always get nominated for everything. Do I think she wins it this year? No,
Probably
because
not.
I think for me, from what I've seen and what I loved, Natalie was incredible as Jackie.
I'm so mad that I haven't seen it yet.
You should definitely watch it. I don't think it's the best movie by any
Yeah,
stretch
but
of the
you said that
imagination.
you loved her performance.
She was incredible, and Emma Stone was great in La La Land.
I don't think she's award-winning though. Great.
I think you can make the case. And especially if, in my mind, this is like my ideal mind, it's like, what if Ryan and Emma both got the
Why
wins?
aren't they married? Can we just like?
Because he already is
I
married.
don't
That's
care.
it.
I don't even know her name. I can't even remember her name. I don't understand what's happening with Ryan Gosling and his wife, and I don't understand, like, we have now seen them together in 3 movies, and each movie, even though one of them was so bad,
Yeah.
But they were great.
they're so great.
Their chemistry is not to be underrated for a second in
Yeah.
these movies. And I think this one is the best of that relationship. So in my mind, I'm like, if they both won, that would be perfect. But then again, I think about a solo performance, and I think about acting that made the movie good. La La Land was already great, and they definitely were a part of its greatness. But I don't think it was just great because of them.
Yeah.
I definitely think they helped. But Natalie Portman, though, and I'm sorry, I gotta bring this up. Natalie Portman made Jackie what it is. Without Natalie, Jackie is nothing to me. So, I think for me, it should go to Natalie.
It's gonna go to Meryl Streep though. It's gonna go to Meryl.
It's
Meryl
not even
Streep
her best role, though, from what I understand.
It's gonna go to Meryl Streep
For what she said.
because of the jabs that she got from our president. It's going to go to Meryl Streep.
I think you're right. I just think it should go to Natalie.
It's not about what you think it should go to.
No, I know.
It's
but
gonna go to Meryl Streep.
This is opinions, and I'm not arguing the facts. I'm just saying what I feel is right, and I think Natalie did such an incredible job in
I need to
Jackie.
see the movie.
Go watch it, and tell me what you think, because I think it was fabulous. All right, do you have anything that stood out to you? Because we've been on this for a while, but it is the Oscar nomination list.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that really stands out to me is not necessarily like a certain movie or anything. Just the fact that I love how the Oscars are starting to
Become more diversified?
that
Oh.
well I was
Agreed.
I was gonna say like movie wise they've definitely made it more inclusive to a lot of the films like Rogue One that aren't really, you know, like
Well,
all
movies like that have
these-
always gotten noms, just not like the ones that people really care about. Like that one was for sound mixing, right? Or even
Well,
costumes.
It was sound for Rogue.
But that movies like that have always been in those categories.
yeah,
Like Suicide Squad.
But
Obviously, that was
costume.
going to be in costume design.
Yeah, well, makeup specifically too.
Or makeup, yeah.
I just enjoy the fact that, you know, these movies are getting attention, even though, you know, they're really just like these blockbuster action movies that come out.
Absolutely. Second part of our show is when we go into what we saw last month. So this is for the month of January, recapping everything we saw. For me, I just had 2 that stuck out to me and 2 that I saw. So this is really quick. Hidden Figures, I really loved. I thought it was a great movie. You should all definitely go see it if you haven't already. And then I thought for me, in the bad list, although I would clarify it's more disappointing, it's not like terrible. Silence was a little bit of a letdown for being a Scorsese movie.
That's so sad
Opinion.
to me on your behalf because
I
you're
know.
so excited about it.
I really was, but I even I got rid of my hype too because I was hearing that it wasn't as great as everyone was saying, so I downgraded my hype quite a bit once I got
it was
to
still
it.
disappointing.
And it was still a little disappointing for me, so keep that in mind. Casey.
I dropped the ball this month because it was the first of the year. I only saw Hidden Figures in the theaters this year, but that movie brought me to tears like 6 times.
Absolutely.
And I loved it, and I thought, what impeccable timing for a movie like this to come out. And then really quickly, just because I saw it, it's on DVD, but don't waste your time, is Now You See Me Too. I could go on and on and on about why this movie is so terrible. The only thing I liked about that movie was Daniel Radcliffe. Other than that, you don't need to waste your time. And I don't understand why there's a third one coming out. Ransom.
I didn't really see any bad movies this past month. And Hidden Figures I did see, which was awesome. But the movie that stuck out to me that I saw this past month, because I went to go see it again, because it's so fantastic, was La La Land, because it just really speaks to my music side. And
You nerd.
Absolutely. All right, so those are the movies we definitely think that you should see for January. January is always the month where everyone's either on catch-up mode or getting life in order as the new year progresses, so keep that in mind. All right, now for the third part of our show is when we talk about, and I think this is going to be the thing that really gets us across to people, is what's coming up this coming month. So February's releases. Now, when you're going to see movies, sometimes it's hard to know what's coming. So that's why we wanted to try and bring this to you. So we'll see how it works out. First off, week of February 3rd, we've got Rings. We've got Youth in Oregon, The Comedian, Grace of Jake, Dark Knight, The Space Between Us, I Am Not Your Negro. In wide release, let's specify that. It's been in limited for a while now. In fact, if you went to an Alamo Draft House, you probably could have already seen it already. And then we've got Wheeler. Out of that week, is there anything that's sticking out to us?
2.
2?
Well, because I tried to get you guys to go see I Am Not Your Negro last night.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited for that. Ever since I watched 13th, I'm all about these documentaries. Plus, I've just been a huge doc nerd for years now.
Yeah.
I love documentaries. But also, I did some research on Youth in Oregon. That one sounds super charming and almost like Little Miss Sunshine-esque.
The art for the movie too,
Yeah.
straight up Miss Sunshine. I agree.
I'm excited to see that. I think I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah. Do keep in mind that from what I was seeing, it is in limited.
Yeah.
So we may have to wait a little bit on that one. Just FYI, Ransom.
same with I Am Not Your Negro. I really want to see that documentary, especially because Samuel Jackson, being the narrator for it, has just been talking about it so much because he loved being a part of it.
It got really good reviews too. I'm
Yeah.
very excited.
And then for me, I really want it to be good, but it probably won't be, which is Rings.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that.
I looked at the reviews on that. I think the average rating was like a D.
Yeah. Well, because it's
Pass.
it's just the thing with horror movies. lately. It's just they're like, oh, you know what we're gonna do? Something that's already been done.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. They said it was going to be almost exactly like the first one, but with modern technology.
Yeah.
And it's
to
like,
the point where it doesn't make sense anymore. Not that the first one made a lot of sense, but to this point, it's like, it can't. Nope.
yeah.
Though
Law of diminishing
I
returns.
do want to say, I thought it was really witty of them that one of the promotional things that they did was prank people in a like
Oh,
a
yeah,
Best Buy
yeah.
kind of
where
store.
she was crawling out of the TV
Yeah,
in the store,
we're-
yeah.
That's creepy as
Yeah.
hell. So yeah, 2 for me, Rings. You already mentioned it. You already said what I wanted to say. I am interested in this because of my old time with it. And then, this one I'm not necessarily interested in to go watch, but I am curious what the reception will be. Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I want to, I was thinking about that too. Because
Now-
it's about the shooting
Mhm.
of the Dark Knight, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's, well, so, and when she says shooting, unfortunately, we do have to clarify the shooting that occurred in Colorado when The Dark Knight Rises was coming out. And it's definitely a subject that's controversial in the sense, like, why are we talking about it? It's a little close to home. It happened back in, if I'm not mistaken, 2011 or 2012. 2012, okay. 2012. So it's a little close to home, but people were saying the same thing about the whole Boston Race movie that came out that they did, and everyone apparently liked that. Critics really liked it. So I'm curious to see what the reception will be. Now, week of February 10th, second week of February, Secrets of Deception, the Lego Batman movie, 50 Shades Darker, John Wick Chapter 2, Jolly LLB 2, United Kingdom, and Hetty. So, out of this week, what stands out to us?
I've literally heard of only 2 of those movies.
Okay. So,
Um,
nothing, like, too exciting for you?
No, I could probably go that whole week without seeing a movie, and I think I'd be okay. Unless you guys made me go see a movie.
I'm gonna make you go see John Wick Chapter
Yes.
2!
I haven't even
Yeah!
seen the first
Oh my
one.
God.
Oh, we're gonna make you watch
Okay.
that
You
right
guys have
now.
been trying to make me watch that for 2 years now, and I'm
Yeah.
still not interested.
We gotta watch it
He
tonight.
makes me so uncomfortable. I can't get
No,
I
over
think
it.
You can get over it in this one, though.
Yeah. No,
It'll
honestly, Keanu Reeves in this goes back to like how he was in Matrix with learning all of his stunts.
When he also made me uncomfortable.
Hey, you can't deny that Matrix was a really cool movie.
I don't know. I saw it once because he made me uncomfortable.
Look, all I'll say is this. The stunts were cool. The choreography was awesome. The premise was simple but effective.
Yes.
Loved the first one. Excited for the second. Now,
Also-
go ahead.
I saw a video of him playing with his dog, though. That's like his co-star.
Yeah. They
Okay.
better not fucking... they better not kill this one off.
If that's what happens, if what happens to this dog is what, or no, if what happens to the dog that I heard about, what happens to this dog, I'm 100%
That was-
not seeing
That
it.
was
fair.
like the most sad part of that.
It did work so well, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You guys can tell me how it is.
Okay, really quick one on the second for me. Lego Batman movie. I hope that's as awesome as the Lego movie was, which I still haven't seen, funny enough, so I need to go watch both of them.
I'm gonna be honest.
Casey's look into the camera when you did.
Do you know how many times I've
Yeah.
seen a Lego movie?
Yeah. Do the shotgun off for the camera.
No. Well,
You
now it's not authentic.
No. Okay. Alright. I'm sorry I haven't seen them.
Mr. Movie Guru hasn't seen the Lego movie.
I know.
Whatever.
I'm
What were
gonna-
you saying?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting really tired of the Lego Batman movie advertisements.
Me too.
They are annoying.
Like,
That's a good point.
it's
I don't think it's gonna do as well as the first one.
yeah. Like I've loved seeing John Wick Chapter 2 pop up, but every time I see Lego Batman movie come up in advertisements, I'm just like this just is getting really annoying already.
I don't know why they're coming out with a second Lego movie either. Which, by the way, lost a director and immediately got another one. But
Yeah.
the first one was so good and it was a surprise, and we should leave it that way. We shouldn't.
Is Lego Batman directed by the same people as the Lego movie?
I don't know.
Well, it was the
Chris
Russo
Lord.
brothers. Yeah, or Chris Lord and, yeah. No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah.
I think they helped write it, though.
Okay.
But, again, don't know that for a fact.
I'm really excited to see 50 Shades Darker because the first one was so good. It was really sexy and not uncomfortable at all.
I am not gonna lie. I might just see this movie and have like a couple of beers just to be continuing.
Couple of beers. Let's go see it drunk.
Just to continue my reviews of it, because I reviewed the first one and I was like, "What in the hell is this garbage?" It was a hot mess.
If you've read
Literally.
the book. I'm just kidding. It's really
Okay,
bad.
I'm like, Casey.
I've read the books and like I liked the books. Like 5 years younger me loved the books. If I were to go back and read them now, I'd be like, I'm not really sure what was going on in my head.
I refuse to watch it just because.
Now I'm gonna make you watch it.
Just because of like hearing some of the things that are in the books, especially when your parents say those things. Like, okay, they were really into like reading books.
Okay. We don't. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Just keep swimming.
No.
Not
fun.
safe for work content. No, okay. You're right, though. Totally right. All right.
Not even
Week of February 17th, the third week of February, we've got The Great Wall, Fist Fight, A Cure for Wellness, In Dubious Battle, really odd one. Honestly, I'll just go ahead and get mine out of the way. The one thing, well, I'm curious in two. I'm curious in A Cure for Wellness, however, I'm getting to see this on Tuesday, this coming week, so I'm going to have an early review on that one, which I'm very excited for. But I'm also curious in The Great Wall. This is Matt Damon with the director of the person who made Hero and House of Flying Daggers, Yimou Zhang. And again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This is a running theme on this episode. It's a weird premise, and I'm not sure how I feel on it. But the director he's come out with some amazing films, and honestly, the action in them is always top notch.
Question.
So I kind of want to see this one, but it looks hokey by the trailers.
Are they going to explain why a white man is starring in this movie?
He's starring. They explained it in one of the trailers already. So he's from Europe, but he came to China. So he's like emigrating to China, and I guess he was like a top-notch archer. So he's helping the Chinese defend the Great Wall of China, which is protecting us from demons, apparently. It's a odd premise. A very odd premise.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to take a break after filming The Martian.
Yeah,
That's what this is. You also forgot one. Everybody Loves Somebody.
Oh, Everybody Loves Somebody.
I've not heard of any of these except for Great Wall and Fist Fight. Fist Fight, I could probably go the rest of my life without seeing it. It'd be okay.
Yeah, it sounds really terrible from the trailers. Anything for you?
Just Cure for Wellness. I always love seeing good horror / thriller movies, and this really looks interesting.
I'll have to look into it. I haven't heard of it.
Oh, I'll let you know if I liked it or not.
Okay.
I'm so excited for Tuesday, so definitely check that one out. Week of February 24th. This would be Get Out, another horror movie. We've got Rock Dog, Bitter Harvest, and Tulip Fever. Now, none of these movies I have heard out until we come to Get Out. Get Out I heard about.
Yes.
And Get Out does sound like a really cool premise, considering the state of the world right now and who we have for our president.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why people hate him.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan
Jordan
Peele.
Peele that I think.
Yes,
Yes.
Key and Peele. Yeah. So Jordan Peele is directing Get Out. He came up with the premise. Wow.
Oh.
And,
yeah. Okay, I know this movie.
Now you know this one.
Okay,
yeah.
I get
so
it.
I'm looking forward to that one. The rest of them could care less personally.
Yeah, honestly, like, Get Out sounds so interesting, and I really hope that it does well, and it's a good movie, because...
But this is gonna be like Shaun of the Walking Dead-esque, right?
I think actually there's gonna be
No.
more of an element of seriousness to it.
No,
Really?
it's actually...
It's an odd premise, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, but it's straight up horror. I don't think it's going to be horror comedy unless they actually make little quips every once in a while. Shaun of the Dead was always pure comedy, then with horror. I think this is going to be horror with a little bit of comedy.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
I from what I've heard, it's not any kind of comedy whatsoever. It's like a straight up horror movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. You guys will have to let me know how it is. 'Cause
Okay.
I think I'm gonna save my money that week.
Okay. That's fair. Totally fair. And then just to bring it up, Tulip Fever kind of intrigued me by its cast, which if you look into it, it's got Alicia Vikander, it's got everybody, to be frank. I know I'm like, my mind's going right now, but it literally has so much talent in the movie. Yet when you watch the trailer, you're like, this looks like something corny from like the Hallmark Channel, but like a Hallmark Channel that wanted really sexy, terrible period pieces. So yeah, it's got Dane DeHaan too, and it's just a really odd movie. Look into it. Probably save your money on it though. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I'm good. I'll leave that week to you guys.
Sounds good. All right. So for number 5, this is the last piece of our show, and this is a movie prediction game that we're coming out with. This game may rotate as we go along with this show, but I thought this might be a good start to it. So, out of the month of February, give me your top 3 predictions on third best, second best, and first best in terms of box office total for the month. Think about that one real quick. Because I got a couple if you guys need some time.
You guys go first. I need some time.
All right. Let's start with number 3. Go from there. 3 for me. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Lego Batman movie.
Like number 3 for the whole
Number
month?
3 box office total for the whole month.
Okay.
I'm going with the Lego Batman movie. It's gonna get all the kid audience in. It's gonna make tons of money. They've got the first one going for it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be 3rd. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Honestly, it's hard to say, especially because the 3 that I would say are in the same week coming out.
Yeah, I think we know where we're going with those.
Yeah.
So what's 3rd for you then?
3rd, I would say probably 50 Shades Darker.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I was thinking 2nd or 3rd for that too.
So 3rd, 50 Shades?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know what would be my first.
Okay.
I gotta think of that one.
2nd, 50 Shades Darker.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna get an audience. I just don't think it's gonna make the insane amount of money that the first one made. At least I hope. I really, really hope. And I have a feeling that my list will be reversed in a way when it comes down to the actual results. But god damn it, I'm gonna go with what I feel and what I hope. So 2nd for me. That's it.
2nd would be Lego Batman movie.
Lego Batman. I know where we're going.
I know exactly where you guys are going with this, so I'm gonna counter it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'd say Lego Batman over 50 Shades Darker, just because I think you get more of a wide range of audience compared to 50 Shades Darker, because you're gonna get like those. Yeah, you're gonna get families in Lego Batman movie, and then 50 Shades Darker, you're gonna get really weird people that...
And cucumbers in the seats. Yeah, that was a thing that people left.
Okay, anyways.
What?
You didn't see the pictures?
Oh, I get it. Okay.
I mean, it was a joke, probably,
I get it.
but still, it's creepy nonetheless.
That went right over my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you leave a cucumber?
That's hilarious.
My 2nd, and I know what is gonna be your first, and I think it's my 2nd because I haven't seen the first one.
Smart.
Is John Wick, chapter 2? I think is gonna be the 2nd, and the only reason I'm saying it's not gonna be the 3rd or not on the list at all is because people like you guys are so excited for it.
And people.
And I feel like that it maybe has a bigger audience than I thought it did, because the first one's been out for a couple years, so people have had time to discover it.
It had great word of mouth. Yeah. It had great word of mouth. It was a surprise hit when it came out, and then it went further.
Yeah.
Because they made the movie on a very tight budget. And now they're going to have the money to really go balls out.
So I think that one's going to be my 2nd.
Okay.
Because I don't think I'm as accustomed to that audience as you guys are. So maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just ignorant about it, but...
No, I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a smart bet. I'm going to go with a not safe bet and a not smart bet and say that it's my favorite. Look, favorite. Most box office total for the month. It's coming out the 2nd week, which gives it time to really capitalize on word of mouth and it's got the first one's success going after it. I'm really hoping, and I believe in my dream of dreams, that this movie will make the most money for February. God damn it, make it happen.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
John Wick Chapter 2, I think, is going to be number 1.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. It came out and not a lot of people saw it, but it was that word of mouth thing where, like, you know, people were like, oh my gosh, John Wick.
Yeah, why do people love it?
Go check it out. And then everyone did. And they fell in love with it. Mostly because, you know, you throw a dog in there, like, and a man going on a vengeance because of his dog, like, that just gets you. That gets you.
Classic revenge tale.
Yeah. And there's just great action in it. A lot of the dialogue was straight out of, like, classic 80s
action movie.
Cheesy action
at least in
dialogue.
its mindset. Like, the Russian mob boss for this whole thing, he goes into this huge tale about how they called Keanu Reeves, the protagonist of the movie, the Baba Yaga.
Yeah,
right?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Yeah, and which was this apparently, like, Ukrainian folklore thing where it was like, he was, like, killing everyone and he would take anyone out. The mission was like, you could send him on the craziest tasks and he would always complete it because he has the strength of will. And then as he's doing this, you see Keanu Reeves busting out his old a safe with his guns in it, and then he gets out the guns and he's like getting ready for showtime. I'm like, yes!
And
yeah, you totally went into this.
You guys are underestimating the crowd that I'm in. The crowd that Keanu Reeves makes super uncomfortable. There are a lot of us out there.
That's true. I think it's definitely like, would it be terrible for me to say that it's guys versus girls on this one?
No, because that's probably what it is. Because there's no reason that Keanu Reeves would make you uncomfortable. But he speaks. I'm just like, stop.
Maybe,
it's just the thing that a lot of Matrix fans are gonna see this movie, and it's a very bro kind of movie.
Bro movie.
It is a bro
movie. It is
movie.
brosome, man.
Yeah.
It is brosome.
Yeah.
All right.
My number one though is Lego movie Lego Batman movie because of how well the first one did.
That makes sense.
And I heard from a lot of people that Batman was their favorite character from the original Lego movie.
Yeah, Will Arnett, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's my prediction. But I have a feeling John Wick Chapter 2 is not going to do as well as you guys think it's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, when I really come down to brass tacks and I think about it practically, I think you have the strongest lineup going forward here. I think Casey's going to win this game of ours.
What do I win?
I don't know.
A free beer?
Oh yeah,
pat
we'll do
on the
that.
back.
That's a good
Okay.
one. A pat on the back. Jesus.
I don't want to play anymore.
No, honestly, I think you might win this one. However, I wanted to go a little wild horse for the sake of shaking it up, and I think it's not the craziest thought that John Wick might be the biggest surprise of February.
Yeah.
And I think there is a shot that it really gets to the wider audience.
You know what I think is going to do? Okay, I'm going to do one thing and then we'll be done. I think I Am Not Your Negro is going to surprise everyone with its box office numbers because of how well 13th did eventually, and this one's being advertised a little more, and it's coming out when Oscar noms are coming out, so it's going to be
also true.
so it's a little bit more well known and more anticipated than 13th. But I think people are going to watch it just because they watched 13th.
Right.
So I don't think by any means do I not think it's going to be like the biggest movie of the month, but I think it's going to do better than the producers maybe anticipated it to do its first month.
You know what? And that's a good point. And it's also got talent like Samuel L. Jackson attached to it as well, which does help that movie gaining a wider traction.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a well-known name.
And it does help that this is coming out in a time where people are having a lot of social commentary.
Absolutely.
So
Real talk.
All right.
Real talk.
Good, strong list. I think, I definitely think I think we're on the wild horse of things. I think yours is the safest and most logical bet. So I think you're going to win. I would like me to win.
All right.
I would like Ransom to win.
I'll give you a list of beers that I expect at the end of the month.
Okay. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning into our first ever A Month in Movies episode. Wow. Good fucking sun type. You can see more of this at geekdomination.net. You can reach me at Tyson Brothers. Ransom, where can they reach you?
You can reach me at random acts of awesome 2521.
Oh,
I want to
the
get
tweets?
my well, that's my Gmail account.
Oh.
You can reach me on Twitter if you want at Tyson Ransom.
There you go.
Check me out.
I love it. Casey, where can they reach you?
You can reach me on my Facebook because I don't want to give you my email because it's my full name.
Fair enough. Well, and where would the Facebook be / what are you also doing?
You can reach me on my personal Facebook, which is Casey Mason. I don't think there are very many of us. Also, if you're so inclined, you can also look up my artist page. It's Portraits and Artwork by Casey Mason.
Great
Some pretty cool stuff on there.
Look, she undersells herself. Honestly, her work is incredible. She literally replicates photos, bringing them with the touch of an actual artist. And it's incredible what you can do with that talent. Like, it's dumbfounding. They look like the pictures, but they have style to them. And, like, you can tell the difference, but in a way that's so authentic. It was incredible to see that talent come forward. So I'm really proud of you with what you're doing.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so it's really awesome. Go check her out. Go get her to recreate one of your favorite photos. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you here later.